everybody. I'm going to try a new cup today. I've seen this cup done a couple of times and it's got a lot of depth. This is going to be a two-part series. I'm going to do a beach theme, but what I'm going to do is the first part of it is going to basically be the epoxy method by adding my glitter. So I've base painted my cup white, just solid white. I've got quite a few glitters here from different places. I don't exactly know which ones I'm going to use. I'm going to use some chunkies and some fine. This one here is Glitter Designs by Two Custom Mix. It's Teal Tropics. I haven't used this one yet. It's a holographic glitter, but it's very pretty. I've also got Featherbear Bling Minderella. I have used this before and it is very, very pretty. It's just a light blue, very fine glitter. This one is Recollections, the champagne color. I'm going to use this for the sand. I'm going to try to do kind of a layered effect. I'm going to put the sand down here, a thin area of white, and then I'm going to do the blue and like a teal. And I've got this other one. I don't have the sticker on it. I couldn't save the sticker. This is a blue from Featherbear Bling. Is very pretty. It's kind of a color shift glitter. It's bluish purple. So this is going to be kind of my dark glitter. And I have a mixture of multiple glitters here. This is a mixture of my white, Featherbear Bling's Disco Unicorn. It's got Glitter Designs by Two Silver Bells, and it also has some yellow mixed in it. So it's in a holographic one. I can't remember which one I added to it, but it's got just a whole mixture of different glitters. And this will kind of be my white glitter, so to speak. But let's get started. I'm going to start by mixing my epoxy. I'm going to do a very small layer. And guys, just so you know, my kids will be home from school in about 10 minutes, so it may get kind of loud. I'm going to do, I think, 5 mLs each. I just want enough to just barely coat the cup. We're not going to do a flood coat. We're not going to do that. We'll do that tomorrow once this glitter has had a chance to cure. I may even be able to do it tonight. This epoxy tends to cure pretty quick, so I may be able to do the last step of it tonight before I go to bed. But the next step is going to be basically doing kind of an alcohol ink, plus I'm going to use some micas. So I'm going to do kind of a mixture. Hopefully it'll give it some depth to the swirl that I'm going to do. But for right now, we're just going to do the glitter part. So I'm going to mix my go ahead and mix my epoxy. You want to mix your epoxy really, really well. I am using Artworks brand. I'll leave the link in it for you in the description, so you have it. I'll also leave a description of the glitters I actually do use, and my micas. That probably be there. My turner, as you can see, is one I mentioned in the last video. My husband made this, and he's done quite a few upgrades to my turner. I started out with one using the rotisserie motor that you can buy at Lowe's. And I've got 2 of those. I started with one, then I moved to 2. Then I bought the little microwave motors on Amazon, and he made a 4-cup turner for me. So then I had 6, but the request for turner or cups has been so big that wasn't even enough. I was still getting behind on orders, so we ordered more motors, and he made an 8-cup turner. So now I have 10, with this one 11 now, but this is one he made with all the upgrades. This has got everything you can think of on it. It's got a heat sink, which keeps the motor about 10 to 15 degrees cooler. The purpose of that is to keep the motor from burning out quick. I've already had one of my motors quit on me, so I can't afford for that to happen with my cups on there, because if I leave it on overnight and then it stops, and you know, it'll ruin the cup, and then I'll have to strip the cup. So I'm just mixing my epoxy here. I mix it for about 3 minutes or so. I've found that the less I use, the more bubbles I end up getting. So I'll have my torch handy so that I can do that, but also putting the glitter on it is going to help pop all the little bubbles as well. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment. I try to check it. Sometimes my phone doesn't alert me, but since I've started doing this, plus my soap business, I get a lot of messages, so I try to keep my phone handy. I'm getting to the point actually where I'm probably going to try to set specific hours that I go through and answer, because I'm spending almost all my time on my phone lately, and it's kind of taken away from the family. So, but what we're going to do is mix this up real good, and I'm going to add just a thin coat. I've already base painted it flat white. It's pretty much the one color that I use on almost all my cups, and I'm just gonna, I got a little, I was taking it off the football I spray paint it with, but that's okay because the glitter is going to cover that. My ring caught it. I've been seeing this cup, and guys, it's really pretty. I'm not real sure how they get the effect they do. I'm assuming it's with the micas and then the alcohol inks. The alcohol inks are pretty clear. Micas have a little bit of depth to them, so that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna pretty much just throw in some mica, throw in some ink, and hopefully it's going to give me the effect I want, of course, over the glitter. This is going to be a fun cup. I've tried a beach themed cup before. I really did not like it. I didn't like the way it turned out. I think it was my second or third try of putting acrylic paint in my epoxy, and I'm not an experienced pro at this. I hope you guys do know that. I like to make stuff. I have been in the soap business now for just over 5 years. I make goat's milk soaps. And this is just a fun medium that I can do on top of my soap. I like to be really creative with my soaps and use them kind of as it's art. I know some people actually don't like to buy my soaps for use. They buy them for decoration. I've made a mermaid soap before, and y'all, it's very pretty. I'll have it down here, so I can't really show you, but I'm going to just put this on here. When you do the epoxy method for your cups, you're not going to want to put a lot. I'm actually putting a little more than I would normally for my epoxy cup. I usually do this method for my chunkies. That's kind of why I'm doing it. Otherwise, I probably would just go ahead and paint it with Mod Podge and then do it. I probably still could have with the finer glitters in layers and then add the chunky glitters to it. But we're going to try it this way. And we'll see how it works. I may end up getting another glass. So there's a lot of different methods that everybody's coming up with. You guys watched my marble attempt and you saw how well that turned out. It's beautiful. I mean, it really is beautiful, but it's not what it was supposed to be. So, all right, so there's the epoxy. I'm gonna let that turn for just a minute. I think I might actually take my torch to it for a second. Just hit it with the torch. Get some of the bubbles out. I really need to open up the windows and let some of the fresh air in. It's been so cold here lately, for me anyways. But today I had to go pick up a prescription and it was 70 degrees outside, guys. It is just the prettiest day today. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to... Actually, I'll probably turn this off for a second and get the bottom. Actually, let me get a piece of paper so that I can catch my extra glitters. I do use a lot of parchment paper. Believe it or not, the epoxy comes right off the parchment paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this off and sprinkle the bottom with some glitter. I'm going to just kind of randomly put this because I want chunky on it too. So we're going to do some chunky glitter. And I'm going to put my gold. And it's okay, guys, because I actually will be I'll end up putting this all back in this thing, even though it's I just want to get a good cover on the bottom. So let me go ahead and put this back on here. And get it turning, and then we'll do some white. And go on to the blues. This gold is actually a mixture of 5 different glitters. I like to mix my glitters. I buy a lot of beautiful already mixed glitters from some people. My favorite places to buy glitter is Featherbear Bling, Glitter Designs by 2, and I like Glitter Junkies. They've got some beautiful glitters as well. But like I said, my favorites so far are Featherbear Bling. Now, Featherbear Bling, it's really hard to get glitters. It's kind of like a first come first serve type basis. She only opens on Saturdays. She opens at 10 o'clock her time, which is California time, and that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone, and then she'll restock for the next week. She does have a Facebook page that you can join where they post the glitters that are going to be on. So I'm going to just add some of this here randomly. And this is also going to be one of those things where I'm not going to do it on all of it. This is mine. I've mentioned this glitter in a couple of the other videos I've made. This is my glitter. I buy this in bulk. I use this in my soap. And it's my favorite to use, actually. Considering I use this for making cups now, too. So, alright, I'm going to add this really chunky, and I'm going to just kind of throw some around here. This is going to be kind of like for the waves, guys. I'm really anxious to see what this is going to look like. I'm going to throw some up here, and just kind of random things of glitter. Alright. And I'll go back and I'll make sure I tap down the glitter, the chunky glitter, so that whenever it goes to alright, let's get some blues on there now. I'm going to just kind of randomly throw some glitter on here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. My kids must be getting home because my dog is going kind of nuts. They get excited when the kids get home. I think what I'll do is I'm going to just actually have a cup and make a mix with it once I'm done here. So I'm going to add some of this Minderella to it. Again, I'm just kind of randomly putting it there. I'm going to hit it with a heat gun and kind of hopefully get it to spread just a bit. I'm just looking for getting a lot of depth underneath the inks. I haven't used this one, guys, yet, and I am so excited because this one is so pretty. Add this one to it too. This is Jaded from Featherbear Bling. You can go onto her website during the week. She opens it up during the week. Of course, she closes it down just before she opens so that nobody is signed in and gets a unfair advantage to purchasing the glitter. She tries to make it fair for everybody, but you can go on during the week and look and see what she has, what she offers. You can add glitter to your wish list. This glitter is what you want to go for You know, you may not be able to get it, you may be able to get it. It's really kind of a hit or miss. But it's I mean, it is like a lottery almost. You know, you have to be on there when she opens. There are times when you can go on and get it right away. There's also times where you get in there and the one you want is already gone 2 minutes after she opens. And that really sucks, guys, because some of these glitters are just gorgeous, but people are waiting. They're doing the same thing you are, waiting for that glitter to open up. And, alright, I'm going to see if I can get any more of this in here. And then I'm going to hit it with a heat gun and let it kind of mix a bit, kind of do the glitter flow thing. There's a lot of videos out, guys. I'm not the only one. As I'm sure you already know, I am still learning techniques, doing new techniques. I really enjoy doing this. This is fun for me. I've been doing a lot of these. Okay, so it's going to get loud here for just a second. I'm going to just kind of hit it with the heat gun and see if I can get it to swirl around. And of course you want your chunky to lay down flat too. I just want to kind of mix these glitters up a little bit and get them to swirl just a bit. I don't want a lot of swirl in the bottom. I don't want my gold to disappear. I just want it to just mix. I may not have enough epoxy to do that, but let's see what it's doing. Go back and throw just a little bit of white on here just to fill in a little bit. You may not need to, but this is kind of how you do the epoxy method, guys. This is actually an easy way to get your chunky glitters to lay flat. That's the hardest part. If you try to do it with Mod Podge, it doesn't work. Your chunky glitters are going to be all everywhere. I'm sorry, I say a lot. Your chunky glitters are going to be everywhere and sticking out, and then when you go to put your epoxy on, it is actually going to stick up, and then you're going to have to do a lot of sanding. I don't like to do the sanding. I don't want to ruin my so I'm going to just kind of go through. I'll probably let it go for a little bit and then I'll pat it down. Let's see if I can get any more on here. And this glitter is so pretty. I've actually got to package some up and send it out. Okay. I think that's it. I think I'm going to let this turn. And then what I'm going to do is a little bit later this evening, I will come back and I will come back and add another layer of epoxy after this has time to cure. And then what I will do at that point is I'm going to add my micas and my alcohol ink. And like I said, I will put in the comments or the description what colors I'm using, so everybody knows what I'm using, where you can find it. I'll try to add links for everything. Of course, the alcohol inks, guys, you can get at Michael's. You can get at Hobby Lobby. I find Michael's carries a lot more of it than Hobby Lobby, at least my Hobby Lobby. My Hobby Lobby is, I'm in little podunk town in Alabama. Hobby Lobby is the closest place to me, and it's still 20 minutes away. So if I want to go to Michael's or Joann's or a store like that, I have to drive all the way to Birmingham. So, alright. So I'm going to just let that go. It's already gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see how pretty that is. The sad thing about glitter is very, very difficult to capture on film. I struggle a lot to capture in my pictures how pretty the glitter is. So, alright guys, I'm going to pause the video or turn it off for the moment, and then I will come back and do a part 2. You guys will be able to catch that, but I'm going to let this turn for just a while, and then I'm going to pat it down. What I do is I just take my finger and kind of go through and just like this, and just kind of lightly pat to get that into the epoxy so that it's laying flat. I can do it now, it looks like. I just don't want to get it too funky in the epoxy. I just want it to barely lay down in the epoxy. So that's it, guys. I'll be back for part 2. Thank you for watching. Bye.